Welcome back, everyone. Recently, MisterMetokur released a video called POZitivity. It's also known as the Internet Aristocrat or simply as Jim. Now, in this video, POZitivity, he read off a collection of blogs, forum posts about bug chasers and gift givers. Which, as you'll find out later, that gift giving is really more of a phenomenon that most people don't understand. Now, I don't really have too much of a quarrel with this video. He has absolutely a great point in bringing these things up in lieu of California's Bill SB 239. This bill is widely protested against. Even people in the gay community in San Francisco are protesting against it. I found one particular picture of a guy saying the only wiener that doesn't belong in San Francisco is Scott Wiener. I don't know why the bill passed, but as of January 1st of this year, it went into effect. And MisterMetokur released this video somewhere a little bit before Christmas time. And he has absolutely a great point to bring this up as something to be aware of, especially when it comes to things like Bill SB 239. I think it's a great thing to bring awareness to people that are bug chasers or people who will deliberately spread the HIV virus. However, gift giving is something kind of bizarre. I found the forum, and out of all of the things that he was reading, out of all of them I saw, he read pretty much all of them except this one particular article. And this one particular article, it reads that sometimes it's so easy to bug a neg. There's no challenge to it, but since every faggot deserves the fatal fuck, it's my duty to oblige. He goes on to describe his whole entire endeavor of basically seducing a gay guy into letting him fuck him until he's pumped up full of positive jizz. And apparently, then this guy that he's trying to infect with HIV is trying to, get out of this situation. Even goes limp. His quote at the last part of this particular forum blog, he says, "Too late, I said. He tensed in a last-ditch effort to reject me. I shot what felt like a gallon of Paz jizz up his negative ass. He went limp, accepting the inevitable." And now, if you notice in there, he's using the word faggot. He's basically, I don't think this is somebody who's a homosexual that's trying to be a gift giver. I think this is somebody who caught HIV, who's trying to take it out on the gay community as they feel that it's a virus that is specifically for homosexuals, and he's kind of taking his rage out upon them. And as I said, my quarrel with the video is not that that MisterMetokur is bringing attention to this. There's absolutely great reasons to bring attention to bug chasers and gift givers, especially with Bill SB 239. However, the problem is sites like this. An extremely conservative, very right-wing, and also very traditional morals, values, and ethics as many people in the Christian sphere. I would almost dare to say this is almost alt-right-ish. Not sure. It's just very conservative, very, very Christy kind of Christo-fascist agenda type thing. But the problem is that there's more than just this. There's plenty of right-leaning sites like this that are specifically talking about how, in one of them I found, it said, I thought that homosexuals were the same as heterosexuals. It's just that homosexuals were attracted to the same gender. That statement was correct and should have stopped right there. But he went on to say, well, it's apparently they're not. Apparently they're sociopathic people that want to try and be a human petri dish to create a super strain of HIV virus. But basically, they're conflating the entire gay community to being bug chasers and gift givers, and conflating the concept of the homosexual equivalent of pregnancy is to become HIV positive. This is not true. And I think, like I said, I can't stress enough, MisterMetokur has a good point and reason to bring up the things that he did, but the concern for me is misinformation and people conflating what he's reading to the entirety that is the gay community, the gay population, the homosexual population. And I have evidence for this. I went searching through hundreds and hundreds of blogs and forums that were made by gay people, and not a single one of them talked positively or put a positive light on bug chasing and gift giving. In fact, in many of them, when they were talking about gift giving, this seemed to be a phenomenon that is fairly new and recent, and not something that is seen as an abundance in the gay community. And I would have to agree with that. In fact, there was even a forum that I found where there's a psychologist. This is a gay forum, gay blog done, but there was a gay psychologist that was talking about how he feels that bug chasers, or in many instances of talking to bug chasers, it has to do with an intense anxiety that, it's pumped in your head as a homosexual that it's inevitable that you're going to get HIV and you're going to die from it. He thinks that this is due to an extreme anxiety of catching HIV, that they go to the level of catching it so that they don't have to worry about it anymore. It's an anxiety disorder. Some have gone to call it a depressive thing, that some of them are so depressed or suffer from severe depression that they go through a point of basically self-degradation, which is something that people who have depression do. And as far as gift giving goes, this is something that has been called sociopathic. So again, going back to the statement of saying that homosexuals are the same as heterosexuals, they're just attracted to the same gender, it still stands true. And guess what? Just like heterosexuals, in the homosexual sphere, we have sociopathic people too, and people that are bizarre and do things that are self-destructive or destructive to others. That doesn't mean that everyone in the entire gay community, or everyone that is a homosexual, is like that. That's a gross overgeneralization. I don't even know how popularized the concept of gift giving and bug chasing is amongst the right-wing category. I would be willing to bet most people understand that this is not a norm, this is an abnormality. And as I said, I can't complain about MisterMetokur making the video to bring light, because this is something that people do need to be made aware of, that there are people that do try and catch the virus. There are people that will knowingly infect others with HIV. Is this something that should happen? No, but it does. And when you make a bill like Bill SB 239, you are giving these gift givers a free pass, get out of jail card. And that's not something that the gay community wants to see, because the people that do that are deplorable. Hell, I even found a blog or forum done by a homosexual HIV positive guy. Let's see what he has to say. This is very interesting, I find. In this particular article, he is talking about how he fantasizes it. He says this blog is by no means a way for me to glorify being HIV positive. And in no way am I suggesting through the scope of its content that deliberately seeking to become infected with HIV is a sensible or solely beneficial choice. He says being a member of a club brings with itself a certain feeling of exclusivity. It makes the members feel special in their own way. The rock climbing club, okay, I'm not reading all of that. But he talks about fantasizing about, gift giving and bug chasing. But then he talks about, and then he goes on to say this. Now, don't go getting all alarmed by this last piece of information. Many positive guys are terrified of passing on the virus for risk of prosecution, and also because they have had such a rough time coming to terms with being positive themselves, that they would not knowingly want to put somebody else through it too. I'm just letting you know that such things happen. If you are negative and wish to remain that way and manage your risk by using condoms, then always use your own. I'm going to wind up here, and but he even says in it, when it comes to somebody saying, I am negative and I want you to infect me, his answer is obviously no. Even though he fantasizes about it, he would never do it in real life. And that is the biggest reason why I'm making this video, is so that somewhere out there it has been said, so that somewhere out there somebody has made a video saying that this is not conflated to the gay community in its entirety. And in fact, most HIV positive people do not want to spread that disease, and most people don't want it within the gay community. I just wanted to make that abundantly clear so that it's not interpreted as something that is popularized. It's not. It's an abnormality in the gay community, and that's the way it goes. So I really appreciate MisterMetokur for bringing bug chasers and gift givers to the point of Bill SB 239, but you also have to take into context that this is not the norm, but it does put a lot of people in the gay community, particularly people who don't want to spread HIV, who do not want to contract HIV. It puts them at risk. And the way that I perceive it, it puts gay rights at risk, not privileges. I don't think being able to be recognized by the state as a couple when you're a homosexual is a privilege. I think it's a right. There's so many things that gay people were denied because of not being recognized by the state as a couple. For instance, like if you go to the hospital and you're on your deathbed, the person you've pledged your life to can't do anything. They have no power of attorney or anything. And I've seen some absolutely awful things happen because of that. You're treated like you're not a human being before those rights were passed. And that's the issue. Like, as far as the church goes, I don't care if the church doesn't want to recognize gay marriage. They're a private institution. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when people start saying that they want to take away gay marriage on the state level so that the state doesn't recognize homosexuals as couples anymore, I have a problem with that. Based on, this concept that gay people are trying to create a strain of HIV virus that medications won't even interact with. And the fact of the matter is there are already strains of the HIV virus that don't react to the medications we do have available. So I just wanted to make that abundantly clear. I'm not making a counter argument to Mr. Mediocre. I'm just saying, whoa, hold on a second. We have to put this in context. Is that, yes, this does exist, but this is not the norm, okay? In fact, the people that the blogs and forums that he's reading, I think they're fictitious. I don't even know where they came from. All you can find is the archive versions of them. And I just, like I said, I wanted to put that out there, that there is a video out there of somebody putting this into perspective of saying, hey, yeah, those people do exist. And Bill SB 239 is dangerous because those people exist. However, this is not the norm. Like I said, I went through hundreds and hundreds of forums and blogs of people creating these forums and blogs that are homosexuals talking about this subject matter because they don't understand bug chasers and they don't understand gift givers at all. These are gay people talking about how they don't understand it, even positive people saying that they don't understand it. So I wanted to put that into perspective so it's not conflated. I think I've made that abundantly clear by this point. Anyway, after going through all that, I wasn't really sure what order to put this in because there was so much of it. And I will leave the links in the description below so you can go and watch Mr. Mediocre's video, or you can peruse through the hundreds and hundreds of blogs and forums on this. And there are tons of the right-leaning ones where they talk about how deplorable gay people are, and there are tons of blogs and forums of homosexuals talking about bug chasing and gift giving. And there's even ones where they do actually say gift giving is a phenomenon. This is something that not too many people are aware of. Most of the people that participate in gift giving are sociopathic, I'd be willing to bet. They lack empathy or sympathy, and they don't really care about damaging another person's life. So that being said, let me know what you think in the comments section below. Like I said, there'll be many links in the description so that you can go and look for yourself. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, and that out.